Hello everyone, it's Stephanie Manley with Copycat.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a big batch of cinnamon apple oatmeal made in a multicooker. Don't know what a multicooker is? I'm going to tell you. And don't worry, if you don't have one, you can use this recipe on the stovetop. Just grab a big pot and follow along, no worries. So a multicooker, if you are wondering, is kind of like a slow cooker, but it does so much more. So this is a combination of a recipe and a review. The folks at Kusori gave me this product to review. All the opinions are my own, so they didn't tell me what to say, so no worries there. So we are going to begin making this big batch of oatmeal by setting this to boil. So if you're doing it on stovetop, big pot, turn it up high. Pretty easy. You're gonna add in 6 cups of water and 2 cups of whole milk. Please do not use skim milk, 2% milk, or anything but whole milk because it may curdle. So why would you use a multi-cooker? You know what, during the holidays, you may not have a lot of room on the stovetop. Once everybody starts bringing stuff over, you can literally make mashed potatoes in here, whip them up and keep them warm. And it is wonderful. You can do all sorts of vegetables in here. Now I did make macaroni and cheese in mine. I did do it with the slow cooker style, but I don't think I like pasta cooked like that. But you can boil the pasta up, put your cheese and your sauce in there, keep your mac and cheese warm as well. So that also works pretty good too. And I also made some hard cooked eggs in here. So this wonderful multi-cooker, it works as a steamer. And it comes with a steamer rack, and I steamed my eggs for about 10 minutes and had perfectly cooked hard-boiled eggs. All right, so let me kind of walk you through all of the settings that this has, because it has a lot. This can bake, it can roast. Now I didn't do everything, but the baking and the roasting would work beautifully. They are temperature controlled. It also works as a slow cooker. It's got a medium, a high, and a low setting. It also browns and sautés. Brown means the temperature is a little bit higher. And it also works again as a steamer. You can boil in there. You can make yogurt, rice, and you can also use the manual setting. So really thought this performed like a champ. The only ding on this is kind of this control panel here. If you use the factory settings, it's gonna work great. I found it difficult to try to fine tune things a little bit. I don't know why you would need to necessarily, but the one thing that did not work for me personally, now it worked, but I just didn't like it, was the timer. The timer was set, you had a couple settings, 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 2, 1, 30 minutes and 20 minutes. Well, this did not make great, it would not have made great hard cooked eggs if I would have let them steam for 20 minutes. So not the selling point on this device, but I will say, again, it worked like a champ the rest of the time. So the milk and water have been heating up, and I'm also gonna add in a teaspoon of salt, 4 cups of old-fashioned oats. This is not the instant kind. This kind you have to cook for a little bit. I'm gonna put in 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm gonna give it a stir, and we're gonna go ahead and let it cook. So I put this on this boil setting. This is actually gonna take about 15 to 17, 18 minutes. So this video is not in real time. That may be a surprise, but it is not. So I think that we need to really ask more out of our appliances. I personally don't have slow cookers in my house anymore because they can really only do one thing. Now I like something like a multi-cooker because, you know, when you're making a roast, everyone likes to saute and sear off that roast before you cook it or you braise it in a slow cooker. And when you don't have a cooker that can do that for you, you end up dirtying a pan on the stovetop and then splatters everywhere in your stove. This works much better because you can saute and brown everything right in there. So we have just heated this up a little bit. You can see the steam starting to come off of it. Now this will boil and it'll cook fairly well. And after about 5-7 minutes of this boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1.5 cups of chopped Granny Smith apple. I don't want it to go in too early because it could get a little bit mushy. Now you can use whatever apple you like. In fact, I would probably rummage through my refrigerator and look for some that were a little bruised. Don't use that, you're just gonna chop it up anyway, so it will go really good in here. 2 additional things we're gonna add in here, but we're not gonna add them till a little bit later, and that is 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a little bit of vanilla. Now, I love to do batch cooking on the weekend because I will often do something like this, and I will just put the oatmeal in containers and I'll heat it up by putting a little bit of hot water in there before I pop it into the microwave. I do like to make oatmeal from scratch rather than out of packets because I think you get to control the ingredients in there a little bit more. Maybe you like a little bit more cinnamon, maybe you like a little less sugar, or whatever you like. I think that when you cook from scratch, you definitely have that opportunity to control that. So the only other thing on this pot that I didn't love was the silicone seal on this lid. Now the lid fit tight without the silicone rim around it. It just would slip off sometimes when washing it, and it was a little bit hard to get back on. Not a big thing, you know, definitely something that wouldn't distract from it completely. It just wasn't something that I loved. And I will say, you do need to stir this somewhat frequently, just like you would on your stovetop. The heat source is down below the pot, and you definitely don't want things to scorch. It will scorch, it will absolutely burn because we are boiling this. Now I'm gonna put 1/2 cup, yes, 1/2 cup of brown sugar in here. You want more, add more. You want less, add less. You could do this with regular sugar too. I just think brown sugar offers a little bit more flavor. So go ahead, stir this in, and then I would unplug it and then go ahead and add in your vanilla. We gotta add in our vanilla last, because if we add in the vanilla too soon, it'll cook right out. So there you go. I would definitely recommend getting a multi-cooker. You know what? You can save a lot of space in your kitchen by getting an appliance that does a little bit more. Let me know if you'd like to see more multi-cooker recipes, or let me know if you have any comments down below. Thanks so much for watching.